The Carolina Panthers' very first preseason game of the 2023 season has come to a completion, and it ended in very embarrassing fashion. So despite what many people may believe, there was some good, but there was damn sure a lot of bad. So in this video, I'm going to give you my initial thoughts on the game as well as deem some winners and some losers from Saturday, and we're going to get into all of that stuff right after this.
From the foe, you dig?
Welcome to The Way I See It with Jamario Rashad. This is a Carolina Panthers fan channel. Please do me a favor by hitting the like button, and please make sure you subscribe as I am on my road to 3K, trying to make sure my channel continues to grow before these games get started next season. Now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and get to these winners and losers from preseason week 1. Now, my initial thoughts on this game, the first thing that comes to mind is I don't really give a damn whether it's preseason or not. This was absolutely embarrassing, a completely putrid showing to be displayed on national television as myself and other Carolina Panthers fans have been talking shit to the Bears fans and just other people talking and upping ourselves up. For this to be the first thing that we go out there and put on tape is absolutely just disgusting in my opinion. I don't care about preseason. We have been in training camp for weeks. What the hell are y'all even doing in Spartanburg? Now, the first thing that jumped off as soon as the offense got out there on the field was that this offensive line, despite missing 2 starters, it is apparent that it may take a tremendous jump backwards if we aren't able to get Brady Christensen, Austin Corbett back into the fold, playing as well as they were last year. This offensive line could regress horribly, and that could spell doom for the likes of a smaller quarterback that we are hosting like Bryce Young. So we definitely need to fix the leaks in that. Now, we are going to discuss a few particular offensive linemen once we get into the winners and losers of this video. But the first thing that I just needed to point out were those guys were just shitty. It's no way to really splice that outside of Ike Ekwonu and Bradley Bozeman, whose names never came up because those guys are steady. As soon as that first and second series was over, when we started to rotate guys in and out of there, it was just ass, man, and it was just very, very hard to watch. Now, after the game yesterday, if you were privy to the press conferences and watch what Coach Frank Reich as well as Bryce Young and a few other guys that talked to the media had to say, Frank Reich, for the first time, I would have to say, in my opinion, I sensed a little bullshit behind his tone. He's always been a very matter-of-fact, shoot it from the hip, straightforward guy. But it seems like he was ducking and dodging and making a few excuses because he himself was not prepared to see just how ass this Carolina Panthers team was going to be when they went out there on the field yesterday. He was talking about their that offensive line, all the leaks and the mistakes that they were making, trying not to pile on top of them, saying, oh, we may have been holding the ball too long, or, oh, we've practiced, but we haven't seen. It was just coming in one ear and out the other, and it was just registering as pure bullshit from head coach Frank Reich, because out of all the positivity that we have been just enjoying over this offseason, for this to be our first experience of actual football, come on, man. You gotta get your guys prepared a little bit better than this. I understand that veterans aren't playing. I understand that this isn't the starters, but these are the guys that you have been coaching up but for the better part of the last few months. So I would hope that they would have a better grasp of the offense that you are calling a little bit better than I've seen yesterday. But now let's move to the other side of the ball, but let's stick on coaching. Ejiro Evero reportedly was paid or is being paid head coach money to come to the Carolina Panthers and be the defensive coordinator of this team. Now, just like Frank Reich, I do have to mention, okay, yeah, you didn't have Burns, you didn't have Houston, you didn't have your pass rushers out there, your starting guys out there to create pressure. But what I saw from this team was just absolutely ass. For you to be coming in and being the guy that is instilling this hybrid 3-4 system that many of these guys that are fighting to make the team could come in on various snaps throughout the year and contribute. So they need to know what goes down, what is their role, where do they need to be, am I in man, am I in zone, am I covering the flat, am I falling back? All of these guys need to understand that. And from the looks of what I've seen out there, a lot of those defenders were not comfortable within this system whatsoever. A lot of guys looked absolutely lost. There were a few guys that did shine, and we will get to them in just a few moments. But for the most part, majority of the guys out there looked absolutely lost, as if they didn't know what to do. I'm not sure if whoever the captain was out there wasn't making the correct calls or the correct checks when they got to the line, if they wanted to stay in their base simply because they wanted to be vanilla because it's preseason. I don't know, but Ejiro Evero was not showing that his messaging or his coaching has trickled down too far on this coaching on the depth chart, because these guys that are trying to make the team, or the guys that are just trying to hold their spot, I didn't see too many people looking comfortable in that, and I have to place the blame of that on Coach Ejiro Evero, man. But those are my initial thoughts. That is what I saw when I got into that. Those are what I initially came away from the game thinking. Now we are going to get into this week's winners and losers. Of course, we are going to start off with the good. Now, there was not very much, positive to go off of if you were just box score watching, if you were just looking at the scoreboard. But if you wanted to go out there, look at the film, look at it on a play-to-play basis, there were a few players that definitely flashed. Now, on those first two series, Derrick Brown was absolutely just disrupting everything from his new defensive end position, which many people think is his natural position. He was penetrating, getting in the backfield, not only being a stout run defender that he established himself as last season, but showing that he is going to have the ability to get to the quarterback from the position that he is playing now. And that was loud and clear on my screen when I watched those first couple of drives. So I do think that this first preseason game is a great indication of the comfortability and just how smooth of a transition Derrick Brown is going to make into this new position, and become more accustomed to attacking the quarterback rather than just holding up the middle of that offensive line. Now, the second player we want to talk about is Kamu Hill-Grugier. This guy was brought in primarily, through word, if you listen to the word on the grapevine, or you just hear it like through the grapevine, you'd hear that Kamu is a special teams guy. But what he showed out there, actually playing an outside linebacker position, making plays, being in the backfield, making open field tackles all alone. He showed his value as more than just a special teams guy. He showed that he can actually go out there and contribute on the defense, whether you need a guy like Luvu, a guy like Shaq Thompson to come out for a play or two. You have a guy that can come in, be fresh legs, and supplement and play just as effective as your starters, if not better in certain positions, as Kamu is very good, or I'm not going to say very good, he is somewhat of a plus when it comes to pass coverage. He did show his value, and I do believe that Kamu will not only be a special teams guy, but I believe that he will be a part of this linebacking rotation as well. Now, the next player I want to talk about is probably the most controversial if you watch the game, especially if you just watch the box score. This guy is running back Spencer Brown. In my opinion, Spencer Brown showed that he had a lot of wiggle out there on the field. It was just, as I mentioned, the offensive line not being able to hold up and actually provide blocking lanes and just lanes for him to run through and be an effective runner. But when he was being met in the backfield, it was very few and far between that the first defender that got there was able to just take him down on first contact. On first contact, and it was very hard to knock him back without him at least falling forward for a yard or two. So whether or not Spencer Brown is going to be able to crack the running back rotation over the likes of a Chuba Hubbard, Peoples-Jones, Blackshear, not Peoples-Jones, just Peoples. Peoples-Jones is on another team. Peoples, Chuba, Blackshear, I don't know, but I do think that there is going to be a spot for Spencer Brown on this roster, whether it be for injury, whether it just be for a performance fall off from another player. I think that he will get, at least a few snaps this season. Now, the final player I want to talk about is yet another defender, it being somebody that I personally have been hyping up this offseason. As I mentioned, that this 3-4 system is tailor-made for his superb speed, that being outside linebacker, second-year player Amari Barno. in this first preseason game. He was, I believe, the only player to register a sack. But outside of that, we do not only have to look at his singular play to say that this guy has been doing good or say that he played well in this area. Amari Barno, when you break down the All-22, when he was on the field, was providing a consistent pass rush. No, he was not getting home each and every play, but you could see that he was having an impact on just about every play that he pinned his ears back and went after the quarterback. He was either making a move up in the pocket, like either scramble out of the pocket or just make decisions earlier than they wanted to. So Amari Barno, in the absence of a Marquise Haynes, after other guys got off the field and he was able to get out there and get a significant number of snaps, he showed why he could be a valuable piece to this team. So I believe that Amari Barno, as well as these other three players that I mentioned, are the winners for week 1 of the Carolina Panthers preseason. Now, unfortunately, let's move into the absolute losers. The first being Michael Jordan, like offensive guard. He shouldn't be guarding anything but the freaking carts at Whole Foods, not letting anybody steal anything. This guy cannot block users on Twitter. He is absolutely ass at protecting anybody. The fact that the Carolina Panthers continue to elect to bring this guy back year after year as if he has shown any type of flashes, as if he has shown any type of value, is absolutely freaking laughable to me, because playing a guy like this is going to get our franchise cornerstone hurt. If you do not know how Michael Jordan found his way to the Carolina Panthers, well, in his second season in the NFL, which would have coincided with Joe Burrow, all-world quarterback Joe Burrow's rookie season, this guy was a second-year player, 4th-round pick, and Joe Burrow was having a tremendous rookie season, immediately translating his skills from being a part of the greatest national championship college football team ever to coming in and being a super effective quarterback in the NFL. And Michael Jordan and his shitty ass let somebody barrel over him, fall into Joe Burrow, and tear his ACL, ending his rookie season as we know it. And what did fat shit Matt Rule do when he found out that this guy got Joe Burrow hurt? He decided, you know what? Come on over. Let's sign you to the Carolina Panthers. That's not all on Matt Rule. That's on Scott Fitterer too. But now we have this guy out there and trying to protect the likes of a Bryce Young, even the likes of a guy like Matt Corral. Like, come on, this guy lost his entire season in the preseason last year, and you cannot even put somebody on the field that can effectively give him a little bit of time to make decisions. Although he did hold the ball a little bit longer than he needed to, this guy was just having defenders all in the quarterback's lap all game. You are an absolute loser, and I cannot wait until my Carolina Panthers cut your ass. I do not have any sympathy for you. Football is not your game. Good day, sir. Now, the next player that we are going to talk about is a more this guy is a more tenured plair in the Carolina Panthers offensive line room. That being offensive lineman Cam Erving. Now, Cam Erving has been with the team. He has received an extension. He is not one of the cornerstones, but perceived to be one of the better parts of the offensive line, if not just the older guy in the room, being the voice of reason. He got his ass absolutely destroyed by any and everybody that they put against him today. He wasn't even blocking. His big ass was just in the goddamn way, and that was just so hard to watch, because Bryce was still accurate. He still wasn't getting he still was inflappable, but the people that were in charge of protecting him, these big 355 million pound motherfuckers, just couldn't do nothing. And that really just bothered me. And Cam Erving was one of the ones that failed at his job. So, sir, you are a loser on today. So now let's move into the younger players. Now we have rookie DB safety Jamie Robinson, who showed one of the most terrible had one of the most terrible showings of effort that I have seen on a football field in a very long time, when a running back was coming at him half speed, hit him with a junior peewee, junior midget, mighty might spin move. Jamie Robinson got left in the dust, completely let up, stopped following the play, and just didn't even show the effort to absolutely try. Sir, your ass should fall so damn far down the depth chart that oh my God, I don't even have a fucking joke for that. You should just fall immediately. With the likes of a guy like Eric Rowe being on this team, with us seeing that Sam Franklin has more than just special teams value, you cannot be out there being somebody that is expected to play like legitimate snaps this year and that be the type of effort that you could put forth on the field. That's absolutely, man, get your ass on the bus, on the bench, go your ass home. I do not care. You do not need to leave the goddamn locker room if that is the type of effort that you are going to be putting forth on the field. Jamie Robinson, what the hell are we doing? We lauded you for being a dog. We lauded you for being somebody that is going to come in and bring the energy. You came in and did the exact opposite of that. Sir, have several seats. You are a loser for the week. Congratulations. Now, the last player we are going to talk about is going to be Yetur Gross-Matos. We got to see Yetur line up at that outside linebacker position and see how well he would adjust to being in having a new technique, having new responsibility, and he unfortunately was an absolute disaster out there. It not only was Yetur Gross-Matos, but somebody else that has been getting a lot of praise in camp, and now I know this probably just because our offensive line is ass, is Kobe Jones. Kobe Jones was somebody else that was like completely, he was just unseen, completely forgotten. He was a virtual no-show out there. They provided no pressure, and these guys were absolutely useless, basically taking up helmet pads, a number, and space because they were not actually playing football. They were just on a football field. Yetur Gross-Matos, I'm not sure if your draft place is going to be able to keep you on this team past this year or even past this preseason with the acquisition of Justin Houston. He was absolutely terrible. He did not show any pass rush moves. He did not, there was a few plays where he absolutely did not move the tackle whatsoever. And I don't want to hear the case that he was setting the edge. It wasn't even a run play. Bruh ass was just stonewalled the moment his hand came off the ground. And that's just absolutely terrible, man. So Yetur Gross-Matos, Jamie Robinson, Cam Irvin, and Michael Jordan. I honestly think that might be a picture of Taylor Moton. If that is a picture of Taylor Moton, I apologize for that. I was in my feelings when I was making this, and I was doing it fast, and I was just mad at the entire offensive line. But those are this week's winners and losers, man. What do you all think about, or what did you all think about this first preseason game? What are your thoughts? 27-0, just absolutely getting our asses blanked, but just looking ass on top of that, there not being any true shining moments. What do you all think about this game? What do you think about the video? Be sure to leave your comments in the comments section down below, and I will be sure to chop it up with you when I see them. But until next time, I am Jamario Rashad. This is the way I see it, and I'm out. Peace.